Hello, this is Mr. Huff. Let's talk about analyzing soil composition. So in the activity that we were given, it had this table where you had to go calculate a bunch of stuff, and I didn't see a point in doing that if we could make a spreadsheet do the work. So here's what we did. I collected some measurements for our sieves. For the number 4, it weighs 410 grams. For the number 40, it's 280 grams. For the bottom pan by itself, it's 290 grams. And for a mason jar, the average of 6 of them is 245 grams. If we're off a gram here or there, I'm not going to worry about it. All right. So I set this one up to take the weight of the sieve and the weight of the soil and calculate how much of that was gravel. So anything that stays in the number 4 sieve is gravel. So if it was 420, then we would have 10 grams if it was, so you can kind of see how that works. So let's say that we had, I don't know, 480. There we go. So now that would have said we had 70 grams. Same with the number 40. You start with 280 here, put in the actual weight of the sand that stays in that one, and it will subtract off the weight of the sieve itself to give you how much is in there. So if we had 380 there, then that would tell us how many grams we have. And then the same with the bottom pan. We're starting at 290, so if we had 350, it would tell us how many grams of that we had. So that's the first part of it. The second part is where you take some of the material here, some of your sand, silt, and clay, and we want to put that in a mason jar. So we scoop out some of that, and then we have the mason jar itself. So let's say that we scooped up about half of that, so that's going to give us a weight of about 300. And when we look at that, then that tells us our sample has 55 grams of sand, silt, and clay. And then after you mix it up with water and pour off the clay, and mix the water and pour off the clay, and mix the water and pour off the clay until you're left with just sand in the mason jar, and then you bake it to get rid of any additional moisture, we end up with something that's going to be less than 300 but more than 245. So let's say that we have 270 here, and it's going to do some calculations for us here. What it's going to do is tell us how much was sand and how much was silt and clay, and get back here and do some fractional components here, and then calculate how much in your entire sample, your 105 grams here, how much of that is fine sand and how much is silt and clay. So you're finding that composition here. So this is taking the ratio from what we put in the mason jar and applying it to the total amount that was in the bottom pan. Okay. Then down here, it's going to tell us what our total soil weight. That's just nice to know. It's just adding these up right here. And then it's going to tell us our percentages, how much we have of each one, and then our percentages in our sample. So we can tell that in this soil, we have 25% gravel, and the sand as a percentage, 53%, and silt and clay as 20%. So we can see that this is going to be sandy soil with a fair amount of gravel in it, not a lot of clay. So that's how you use this form, and then these are the numbers you use to go through that investigation to see what kind of soil we're talking about. So I just wanted to go through these calculations really quickly and let you know that. That's all I have for now. Thanks for watching.